mute. Um, I spoke to Thad about 2-3 weeks ago and kind of was really blown away by like his experience and what he's been doing down in Florida. And I'm like, that's the guy we need to talk to. That's the guy I need to like learn more from. So I had a further conversation and really learned more about his overall experience. And I thought, boy, I have to have him on this call because everybody on this call would definitely benefit. As you know, he's got a couple of locations down in Florida. I call him a successful owner. I don't know what he considers himself. He's not working on his third. But no more from me. I'm just gonna let Thad take it away. His name is Thad Rund, aka the coolest name on Facebook, Thad Rad. Go for it. I wanna hear all about you.
Well, can everybody hear me all right, first off? Everybody good? Give me a thumbs up. All right. In 2015, my wife and I, we lived in Costa Rica for about 9 years, and we moved back to Florida. It was for some of my other work. I work on the side for Uncle Sam about 5 or 6 months out of the year. And we decided, well, let's take advantage. My wife is doing personal training, and in the process of kind of helping her pursue that part of the career, we stumbled upon this Bedros guy and his YouTube videos, and who is this guy? A few months later, I found myself at a implementation boot camp learning how to run Facebook ads with a guy named Carlos and Bedros and a guy named Josh Carter. And so I met the whole crew, and it was right after we signed up for a franchise. And we signed up with the idea to, we have 2 kids, and we signed up with the idea to get back to Costa Rica, get 3 or 4 up and running in 3 years, and be able to run them remotely, but still be able to fly back and forth and be on a monthly basis involved in the activity. So we're still living in Costa Rica in our house there, and we're able to run these things. Now, this obviously is a lot tougher than it sounds. We learned a lot of hard lessons, and I hope I can go over some of them. And my wife will actually get online here also. But we managed to, it's been 3 years. We opened our first one in May 2016 in West Palm Beach, and we opened up in North Palm in 2017. And we tried to open Delray in 18, but we're about to get it open in about a week, actually. We're supposed to get the keys on Monday. So we got our number 3 within 3 years. So we hit our goal there. I started talking with Juan. I don't think I've talked with any of you guys pre-franchise agreement. You might have talked to some owners. And I talked to them a lot, and I have I guess an immense amount of frustration with just I'm passionate about helping people open up strong. And I talk to a lot of people that just are struggling first off, and I don't think a lot of people have to. And I don't have a magic formula, but I do have some things that I know that have worked for me so far almost 3 times in a row. So I wanted to go over what it takes to get a strong start, a lot of the mistakes we made, and if I can answer any questions you guys have. Let me see. Let me just talk about our first location. We opened up in West Palm Beach. We just moved from Costa Rica. We were doing everything seat of the pants. Didn't know a damn thing about business in the U.S. We were shocked at rent prices. We were like, oh my gosh! I was looking at these places. Like, this place is going to cost me $7,000 a month, $6,000. Like, if this goes bad, what am I going to do? It's going to put me in the poorhouse. So our first location, I'll be blatantly honest with you, was a low rent location in a zip code with not the hottest median income. I think it's like 32,000. Fortunately surrounded by good zip codes. But and a great location because it's right off of this Florida Turnpike. So we had this awesome location for that, but the area itself kind of sucked. But at the time, like I said, we were scared when we opened, and I was. I think my wife was a little more gung ho than I was, but I said, this is going to be great. We did this one. So now, let me see. That was one of the big reasons we chose that. And it was perfect. It was a good little spot to start out with. But we're at South Florida, so we have fitness competition everywhere. Orange Theory right down the road in both directions. You know, a gym on every corner, and that I think that everybody thinks about South Florida. You think about fitness and South Beach, Miami, and you know, just it's fitness is all over the place down here. Ours was a kind of a strip mall location though, and we started out with 2,700 square feet, and we weren't sure how we were going to open, but we were kind of guided along by, I believe it was a guy, I don't know if any of you guys know Josh Carter. I don't think he's with the body anymore, but I believe he was really close with Bedros, and they had some falling out of some sort. So whatever happened there, I don't know. But Josh had a lot of info. And one of the things he advised me to do was to open with a challenge, like a 28-day or 6-week challenge. And we said, okay, yeah, sounds cool. Originally, we were thinking grand opening. Let's just have a grand opening, invite a radio station, spend a few $1,000s, and you try to get the whole community part of it and do that. And we decided to have kind of a soft opening where we went ahead and opened up, and then we said, well, we'll do a grand opening later on. You know, we'll get the place full of challengers, and then we'll get going. So with minimal training in Facebook, we utilize Facebook advertising to advertise for a 28-day body transformation challenge. And our goal was to spend and basically fill the location and with challenge before we opened. We were able to start that one off with just short, I think 190 something challengers. And then our North Palm location, we recycled the same formula. Got around 200-ish challengers. I think by the first week, 205 or something. And then we were able to replicate the same thing in Delray, and we're approaching 300 right now. So I just heard, someone saying you're having problems with your landlord, and it just made me think, view that as a blessing. I know you're probably getting some money sucked out of you, you know, with whatever maybe franchise costs, whatever it costs for you to wait. But look at that as time to build leads. The number one thing any owner before they open should be doing is gathering leads right now. And I don't mean just email. I mean, get that phone number and get that name. If you're not, and what I suggest is the second you sign that lease, start your process. And if somebody can give me a good reason not to do that, I'll be happy to hear it. But I can't see any reason not to start getting leads now. And I'm no pro, but what's worked for us is a standard giveaway, a 6-month membership giveaway, a $10,000. I use $10,000 membership giveaway. That's what I'm using this time, which is, and we're not really doing the math, but we're giving away a ton of memberships. So, and we're getting those emails, and then we're following up with text, emails, and calls, and asking if they'd like to take part in our challenge. So, you know, like with any business, it's lead follow-up. But if you don't have the leads, you can't follow up with anything. And you got to spend money. My suggestion is plan on spending 3 to 5 just to open. But that's what's worked for us. And I've actually, on this last location, I've spent over 10,000. But I'm going to have 300 and something challengers hopefully. So
a cool question, Thad. So when you say $3,000 to $5,000,
yeah,
you know, what time frame are you looking at prior to your your open?
Well, I would say usually it's going to take you a few months to get open. So 3 to 4 months, maybe 3 to 5 months. You know, I would say 3 to 5 months is about the time it would take for somebody to open a location from when they sign the lease, construction, all the permits, all that stuff. So, yeah. I mean,
it sounds like, so your advice is very much along the lines of what I've been advised by some of the other notable successful owners, is to spend $1,500 a month and leading up to your grand opening. To me, that sounds like the sweet spot, and
yeah,
to do anything less is compromising your
absolutely. I make it for all 3 locations. I made it my goal to get I shot for 1,000 leads, and I was able to do it. In West Palm, I think I hit 800 and something, and Delray we have over 2,000. And that's not just an email. That's name, phone number, and email. It's doable.
Well, I
And
mean,
it's just a
with
membership giveaway.
Del Rey, you just mentioned that you spent $10,000 on your
Yeah.
marketing campaign. I guess double what you would normally have, and then you have twice the number of leads.
I've never, I think I told you this on the phone. I think I really looked back and said, man, I wish I didn't spend so much on that. You know, it's usually 90% of the time it's the other way around. I'm not saying you can't misspend on an advertising campaign, but I'm usually saying, man, I wish I would have spent more. Because I look back at my first 2 openings and I was like, why didn't I spend more? What am I afraid of? Getting more leads? You know, it's rarely, especially in that context, in that grand opening context, it's usually pretty. It's a not converse relationship. It's a positive relationship though. You add more money, you get more leads, and yeah, there's a point of diminishing return where you're spending too much per month, and you'll see you're paying maybe, you know, $10 a lead as opposed to $5 a lead, and maybe it's time to tone it down or try something different. But that's my biggest thing, is start getting leads now, and then I just talked with one owner that I just went back and forth with one owner about he just opened and had a few people in there, and he didn't spend very much to get started, didn't have to start with a lot of leads, and I was frustrated on his behalf, just because I didn't understand why. I mean, it's the formula is there and you can put it into action. You do have to kind of step out a bit. It's going to be out of your comfort zone, maybe financially, but let me look at some of my notes for today. Let me see.
Yeah, and while you do that,
yeah,
it's for me like a consistent theme and advice from people who I've spoken to who are successful owners, is that do not forego the opportunity to gain leads pre-open. Spend the money. A lot of people. I spoke to an owner close by me, and you know, I was there to help her. She was short-handed. She went away on vacation, so I helped assist in coaching. And before she left, she gave me some advice, and she said one of the biggest mistakes she made was she spent only $500 a month in marketing leading up to her open, and she relied on HQ to do it. And it was like, when she opened, she was just like, you know, where are all the people?
Yeah.
You know, and this is the thing that I hope I can try to get everybody to get on board with, is that, you know, you could use your body and get out there in the community and really sweat and build relationships and try to get people in that way. But, you know, if you really want to use the big guns, use the Facebook marketing and actually spend the money, because it's probably the most effective way.
I mean, do you want to open your location struggling, or do you want to open your location paying the rent the first month? It's very doable. You can do it. And I can give you the rough formula to do it, and some of the tools that might help you do it. And if you guys, I'm happy to answer any questions on that. We can go into kind of that specific formula maybe first, and then go into some of the problems, some of the big mistakes I made, and all the money I threw away on my first place when we opened. If you guys want to hear that.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go into you know, your first location. How far in advance did you start your marketing?
So I believe we signed our lease in January, and the second we signed our lease, we started running those giveaways, six month membership giveaway ads, and I use ClickFunnels. And I'd like to talk with you guys later about using ClickFunnels and Facebook lead ads and other techniques. There's some pretty powerful tools you can use right now. But we gathered leads using Facebook and sending them to a landing page, which you can do if you have FitPro newsletter. I take that back. We didn't use right off the bat. We used FitPro Connect, FitPro newsletter. We used their landing pages, and believe it or not, those cheesy little, I don't know, have any of you, Quan, have you messed around with FitPro newsletter at all?
I'm afraid I
You have
haven't,
it?
you know, because I'm so
Okay.
far out. I've kind of,
Okay.
I was waiting, but I've determined to start this month.
You can make very simple little landing pages though on FitPro Newsletter. You don't have to pay click funnels. You can test them out and see how they do, and they work. In fact, I had cheesy, junky looking FitPro newsletters thing, not junky, but just very simple, that outperformed my fancy ClickFunnels page. And I'm like, how did that happen? Maybe I should just use this, but whatever works, you know? So we did that. And then about, I would say, this is where it gets a little dodgy, is right before you open. You really don't know when your inspections are going to happen, or when you're actually going to take over that piece of property. But when we thought we were about 6 weeks out, we started on that first location. We started really pushing this 28-day transformation challenge, and it was $97. And we used various ads and pictures from HQ that we had, and just some of the text. I used a lot of text from. I had went to the that implementation boot camp. I don't know if they still do it. If you can do it or get some sort of training in Facebook ads, I'd say it's useful. That was put on with the Fit. It's called Fit Pro Marketer. That group. It's Jeff Sherman and Carlos Brunelli and Bedros. They're all tied into this. Businesses from before he even opened, I believe, before he even opened Fit Body Boot Camp, or before the franchise thing started. But I'm off track right now.
No,
but
it's okay.
yeah, we
Let me
started
ask you a
pushing for that
question.
sort of advertising. So
Yeah. So
then,
let me ask you a question.
yeah.
Um, you started in January, and ultimately, when did you open for business?
We opened for business. We had our orientations, I think, on April 28th or April 30th. We had a couple group orientations, which I think is the way to do it. That's the way it's worked for us. And this is basically a PowerPoint explaining what you guys do, who you are, what the challenge is going to be about, and all the great things that they're going to get throughout this challenge. And it's you up there kind of talking to the group. So they schedule a time for the orientation, and what you can also do here is you can offer them what's called a founder's membership, and you can tell them you're not locked in right now. But if you sign, I promote those that take action now. And if you want to lock it in right now, I can guarantee you a founder's membership today. We're going to be selling them as the months go on, but you're guaranteed your spot right now. It's full. You don't have to pay anything. You can back out at the end. It's no big deal. And just reserve your, say you want to reserve your spot. And when you're done with the challenge, if you want to continue on, you can continue on at the founder's rate. And once these are sold, they're gone. And then so you get them to do that. And I like this method better. I was talking to another owner who was trying to sell charter memberships or founders memberships before, and that was like the only thing he was focusing on. I like getting people into a challenge, getting them in there, experiencing it, showing them value, and then offering and just letting them get a taste of what you're all about, and then letting them lock in on that. So that's what we did. We had 2 or 3 orientations right before we opened, and I think we opened doors May 1st or May 2nd.
So yeah, it looks like it was like a 4-month window from the time you started and the time you opened.
Yeah, and that's in a low-income area too. So we were able to bring people in and prepay $97. That's another point right there is I don't actually think that's the best way to do it. I think there are 2 other techniques that can bring in more people in your doors. You can have them pay a reservation fee that's small. And the cool thing about paying a reservation fee is that it doesn't seem like a lot of money to them. You tell them it's fully refundable, and you guarantee that they're going to show up at the orientation. The other option is to not make them pay a thing, and then reserve a spot in your orientation. You can schedule them and everything. Downside is you really don't know who's going to show up, and you'll find that you might have half the people or even less than that show up for your orientation. And I've seen that with Drop Pounds Get Paid. We ran that, and that's a free reservation. I don't know if everybody's familiar with the Drop Pounds Get Paid thing, but it's kind of like the gym launch thing. It's one of those win the challenge free if you make your goal at the end and get all your money back and then some. But there's no reservation fee. So we would have 80, 90 people reserve for an orientation, and like 30 would show up. So, and that's still not bad having 30 people show up, but I do wonder on that if we did, if we did a $10 reservation fee, would that have made a difference? And right now with our Delray location, we're doing, they sign up for the giveaway, and they are, what happens, I use a program called Fit Pro Tracker, and they're automatically texted. And it not like shortly after that they sign up, and says, hey, if you're interested in getting into our 6-week transformation challenge, text me back yes. So for all those that text us back yes, they're in a brand new category. They're really a lead right there, a warm lead. So then we engage with them and then say, I've opened up 20 spots, and I'm going to be opening up more, but right now we have 20 available. Are you interested? $20 to reserve your spot. So that's kind of the rough down and dirty how we're doing it for our current location. And that's what we've been able to get about, I think we have 280 right now.
Wow.
So it's 270 something, but it's the last, it's really that last, you might get frustrated, but it's that last week to 10 days where people really, really start coming, because at first you're not going to have a date to give them. Everything's going to be up in the air. It's when they find out the actual orientation dates, the actual open date, that's when it really, that's when you really start seeing people flood in.
Yeah. Hey, Thad,
yeah.
we have a question from Bernetta. Yeah. I'm going to let her ask the question.
Okay.
Go ahead. I unmuted you, Bernetta.
Hey, Tad. Bernetta here. Okay. How do you keep them engaged from the time, like you said, you signed your lease in January? How did you keep them engaged from the time you signed your lease in January till you were able to do your orientations? Like, I've reached out to people and said, hey, thanks for, throwing your name in the hat for the 6-month chance to win a free giveaway. Be on the lookout. Like, I friend them on Facebook, but what else should I be doing between now and the time we open?
I wouldn't suggest friending people on Facebook. Unless you have, do you have a separate trainer page that's separate to you? Or is it your personal Facebook page?
Well, my personal is my business. I don't really have a separate social life.
Well, I mean, you don't have, I'm saying you don't have like a page that's your personal page, like your family and all that on Facebook?
No.
Okay.
I avoid my family.
Well, I'm just saying, you don't want to you don't want to give people easy access to you, I guess, because when it becomes thousands, then you'll just be overloaded.
I gotcha.
Okay. I like your page, but the one thing you need to do, and another heartbreaking thing, I just checked somebody else's who was having some problems opening. I look at their page, I see one live video, and everything else is just HQ's auto posting. You want to keep them engaged. Well, how are you going to keep them engaged if you're not putting info out? So what I suggest doing is every single milestone you have, whether it's signing your lease, shaking your hands with the landlord, hey, we just signed our lease, ready to get going, and just got permit. I just got my architectural plans approved. Hold the plans up, say, yeah, just be excited about it. And pump those live videos. And every single video you have, you're linking to your giveaway challenge. I don't know if you're familiar with boosting posts.
Dylan is. He's also on the call.
Okay, so I mean, if you can use HQ, you can use another service to run your specific ads, but I highly suggest doing personal posts and ads and then boosting those as well on top of whatever you're doing. Okay. So throw $50 on it for 2 or 3 days, 5 days, whatever. And target audiences, and there's I feel like I could make about a day class on how to target ads, how to really target your audience. There's a few tricks, but it isn't that big a deal. You can target 8-mile radius and women 30 to 28 to 48 or 52, whatever you want. That's primarily you're going to find the most effective ranges, but do live videos on every single point of progress. So we did one that got a ton of traction, which was just our demolition. So I had my trainers in there with me, and we're swinging, or my wife had her trainers in there, and they're swinging hammers, and they're doing all this. We got our demolition permits, and that got a ton of traction. Do an intro post to who you are, boost that, talk about who you guys are. But pictures, live videos. I mean, make it a goal to do a live video for every piece of every new update you have. And
Hey, if I can throw a suggestion in there. Recently, I learned that there's a fella named Ben Jones down in Arizona. I think he's about to open his ninth location. He's a star down
Whoa.
there. You guys know him from probably the university. Now, I went through his uh, uh, fan page for that location. I mean, there's not a day or two that goes by he's not posting some sort of update. So I think, Brunetta, part of the answer to your question is posting stuff on your fan page to get people like just interested in what's happening. That's how I guess, you keep them engaged. Now, I haven't been doing that, and because I'm so far out from my open, but because I spoke to Thad, I realized, well, there's no need for me to wait. I'm gonna start this month, and I'm just
You can
gonna,
at least get leads.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, you don't even have to do your updates. Just use those. You get those names and phone numbers. You know, you can hit
Yeah,
them up.
and I'm determined to beat my fan page to death, with videos and pictures and ads. Okay, so I think that's the common theme, is to keep people, interested in what's happening at your facility before you open.
Yeah. My wife and I, we just did a video in the back of a box truck. You can check my Delray page. And we're with my son, and we just cleaned out this box truck, moving a bunch of stuff from storage into the Delray place. People liked it. And there's a lot of comments down there. When you open, I'm in. And it just keeps it going. And we've had a few complaints because we actually set our open date. We tried to play it safe. It was December 24th. Oh, no, it was December. It was before Christmas, and our construction guy said we might be done before Christmas, but don't count on it. But we might make it. So we set our open date for January 21st, trying to play it safe, give them a 3-week window. We don't even have our keys yet. So it's almost March, or it is March. So, and that's how things go. So we scheduled people for orientations, and then we had to send out an email and say, well, had a mix up. So we're going to be sure we actually have keys in hand this time, but it's just part of it. We lost a couple people here and there, but it's not as bad as you think. I mean, you stay in there updating people. We let people know we got our electrical permits, our inspections done, our plumbing inspections, we passed them. Yay. Walk around tours of the place, things like that. What we're all about, the type of training we do. I mean, you walk through 30-minute workout. Why? And whatever you can think of. Are we CrossFit? I can give you a whole bunch of topics if you want to just.
So I think what I'm hearing is, you're putting your ads out to solicit for leads, but you're also, peppering your page with information about your facility, the progression and everything. So, and in those ads, you're also, linking to, I guess, ads where they can, opt in or what have you, correct?
Yeah, and one small tip, live videos hold a lot of extra social media juice. You might see it on your page, so-and-so is live right now. That's powerful right there, just being able to pop up on somebody's phone like that. They get more power than just a post. Like, you can post a video, but it's going to get nowhere as much social juice as a live video. One tip somebody gave me, though, and I believe it's true, is if you're going to do a live video, put some text in it, but don't put your link in until after you're done. So it'll slow. Facebook kind of penalizes a link inside of a live video. So go ahead and do your live video, and then if you're going to boost that live video, then go ahead, add your link, and then boost it. And that's where you can pay. So one small tip there.
Hey, we have a couple more questions. And Tanya Beatty has a question. I'll let her do it.
Oh, I didn't even see the chat. I'm sorry here.
That's all right.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tanya.
Sure. I was wondering for your challenge. I just opened up Monday, and I would definitely, if I could go back in time, I would say pour as much money into the leads, because everyone that comes into our club is like super happy. We're getting great responses, but sometimes it's like a freaking tumbleweed or crickets. So I would say that, definitely resonates, and it's never too late to do that. But my question for you, because I want to do a challenge and really just pour everything into that because we have the InBody machine, and I really want to highlight the value of that as well. But do you let your members, the members that you do have, participate in those challenges for free, or do you have a cheaper cost for them, or how do you do that?
So what we normally do is we give them it. Maybe a challenge will be $37 a week or $50 a week or something for a non-member. It'll be $10 a week for a member, or we'll charge them a one-time $20 fee. Now, depending on how many members you have right now, you might want to just let them be a part of it for free, so you can build that whole family atmosphere. Everybody's on it. Do you mind me asking how many you've got right now in there?
No, not at all. We have like 7 or 8 members.
Okay. So yeah, give it to them free, put them in the group, make them your ambassadors, thank them for all the posts they do, ask them if they could be active. And then you're lucky right now because what you didn't do is, it doesn't sound like you started with a challenge yet. So you can still do a grand opening challenge right now. You know, it's gonna take some elbow grease, you know, getting all those wheels in place, but you can still start one to a grand opening challenge like you never really opened. And then offer them charter memberships, do everything I kind of described in the past. And that's what I would do. Go ahead and plan on spending that few grand on it at least, you know. And
yeah, I think that was our mistake. You know, we thought, oh, 1,000, and you know, it's like once you get them in there, it's addicting. You know, it's like a drug. Like when they get in there, they're happy, they're feeling good, they're telling their friends. But I want the masses, you know, like I can't do anything, or, you know, if I'm not letting them have that experience. And also the vibe in a class. I mean, I'll be honest, like some classes, it's like super one-on-one personal training. And, you know, and don't get me wrong, they love that, but that's not what we're set up to do. Like I've got to deliver.
It's the waste of your space, right?
And yeah. For sure. Thank you so much.
Well, let me see.
Hey, Thad, I think we got another question by Dylan.
Okay. Is that, do you do your own Facebook ads? Is that?
Yes.
Do you want me just to go through these?
Here we are.
I can see it now. Okay.
Sorry, my internet connection is terrible, and I'm in the same house as Bernetta. So you had talked about doing Facebook ads in advance, and you sort of alluded to it in the video, or in the earlier commentary. You take care of all of the ads yourself, or do you have a marketer? You do it all yourself?
I do it all myself, and that's one of the unfair advantages I think of being a husband and wife team, is that we split our work up, and I handle all the stuff in the background. And sorry, Quan. No, but and then my wife she's kind of the boots on the ground, so she deals with hiring and firing, payroll, things like that, and I deal with all the accounting, all the marketing, building challenges, and things like that. Gotcha. It's daunting at first. It has a learning curve, but once you get just the ability to make a simple ad, and I don't know if you guys know Anna Larson. Anybody? Give me a thumbs up if anybody knows who Anna Larson is. She does some videos on her. I forget what the name of her. She has a Facebook group, and she does instructional videos sometimes on how to build an ad. And there's a few people out there that do those, and just see what you can find out how to build a Facebook ad. And there's some really simple text that just draws people in. And I mean, it usually revolves around attention Palm Beach County residents, or attention Palm Beach County women. How would you like to? Or we're giving away 6 months of free membership, $10,000 in free memberships for our grand opening challenge. And it could be as simple as that, and you'd be surprised at how many you'll get. Now,
can I throw something in there?
Yeah.
And this goes to Bernetta's question too. One of the things that I learned about having gone to Domination, Matt Wilbers, in his grand opening strategy, one of the things he mentions is that with these big giveaways, the $10,000 or $15,000, $20,000 giveaways, is that every other day or every day you are sending an email out to the group saying this person just won a 6-month membership. And when you do that, it actually forces people to open their emails because they can't, they're dying to see whether they won. They put these, he sends these emails out very frequently, and all of a sudden, there's a high turnover, a high return rate in terms of people opening their emails because they want to be the winner too. So I think that
sounds like a great technique. Yeah.
Q, you got a question?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, Thad, how are you? How you doing?
All right.
As far as the soft opening and grand opening, can you just kind of go through how you went about doing that and what the main difference is and basically what you did when you did the soft opening versus grand opening?
Let me, I gave this to a guy in an email, and somebody who I said it broke my heart a little bit because he's having a rough time now, and he didn't do anything I said. Not that I'm a guru or anything, but I gave him a rough formula, and he was like, he was like, thanks so much, this is awesome. And then it was like, you didn't even do any of it. So I'm going to read off what I gave this guy. If you can give me just a second. I put my little formula into, okay, here we go.
Thad, if you can also, after you talk about it, if you could send that to me in an email, I'll put it together and compile it for this.
So, I mean, here's step one. It's run an opt-in of some sort to get leads. Example, a $10,000 membership giveaway. Make your goal 1,000 leads prior to open, and plan on spending $3,000 to $5,000 on marketing. And just go ahead and plan on it. It might be more, it might be less, depending on how your ads perform, your area and demographics, things like that. Advertise for a 4 to 6 week challenge. You can do this anytime, but I would suggest a month or two out, get started when you think you're going to be ready. You're going to get leads for that. You're going to have your leads from your giveaway, and you're going to use those leads. You're going to follow up with them to whether it be through text, email, or what. Give more giveaways, like the thing Quan was saying about emailing everybody on the list and saying, "Oh, look, Julie just won, yay!" Or you can do live videos. We've been doing a lot of live videos. My wife and I have been giving away almost every other day. We're doing a giveaway and we're calling people on the phone live, and that seems to work. And a lot of people are getting excited on that. So you're advertising for that challenge. Number 3, you're going to use a group close at pre-open orientations. So Bedros has a closed clients video. I suggest watching that and taking notes. I believe it's free. It's on the FBBC University site. And then open your doors with income. Step 4, open your doors, and you're going to have 100 to 300 members paying you. Maybe depending on how you do it, what we're doing is $20 a week, and then deliver them value and show them how awesome it is and offer them founders memberships. And there's a lot of in and outs and all those steps there, but that's basically it. Get leads, advertise for a challenge, get people into your challenge, make the challenge a deal. I mean, make it a super deal, and get them in your door, show them value, and then the charter memberships aren't going to be a problem to sell.
That sounds like an amazing and simple formula, and obviously it's working for you.
And Matt Wilbur, he brought up Matt Wilbur earlier. He's got a formula for that too, a specific one. I think he sells a big ultimate transformation challenge thing, which is powerful, but it's all the same. It's all the same thing. It's not brain surgery. It's get leads, get them into a challenge. That's
great.
It's just and plan on spending money on advertising. The big mistake that I see people making is thinking. You asked about a grand opening. It's thinking some grand opening is going to get the word out there, and then we're going to be so good that everyone's going to tell their friends. They're all going to come. Meanwhile, you're blowing through capital. And I say, fuck that. I don't blow. Pardon my language. But there's no reason to blow through capital if you don't have to. And at the very least, you can sit there and pay your rent and pay your trainers, and not worry about. I mean, God, I'd hate it the day I couldn't pay a trainer's salary because I was broke, And I watched a gym south of me. it was, I don't think it matters because they're not with us anymore. Cooper City Fit Body Boot Camp. I went down there. She's like, oh, I heard about you guys on Facebook. I follow your pages. We're just struggling. We had a hard time opening. And she was like, could you come down and help me and just see what you think? And she had, I don't know, 20 or 30 people. She didn't know how to operate the software. She was working her butt off on the training floor. She was, her head was so in the weeds, she couldn't even focus on growth at the time. And that is not a place you want to be, where you're clawing along and you can't focus on growth. And that's also one of the biggest mistakes I see just all over. And is people that they're on the training floor too much. It's hard to grow if you're on the training floor the whole time. In fact, that should be your first goal when you open up, is get off the training floor. Train when you want to. If you want to do it because you love it, that's cool. But if you're killing yourself, there's no way you're going to focus on growth or have the creative, I call it creative juice. I mean, you don't have that creative juice when you're just tapped all day to be able to think up new things, build challenges or build a curriculum, build whatever your passion may be, you're going to have a tough time following it. And that's, I don't know, grand opening, it's fine if you really want to do it, but I wouldn't expect more than I would. Dollar for dollar, I think your best option is to put it into Facebook ads or social media advertising. I don't think if you want to do a grand opening just to make it feel good, that's awesome. I mean, I kind of want to do one just because I think it's cool, but I don't think it's the best thing as far as per dollar spent.
Yeah. I think, after having spoken to you a few weeks ago, I realized that, the grand opening thing is just a cool thing, right? And it doesn't necessarily translate to any more business. And I realize it's not something I need to be focused on. I need to be focused on spending money on ads leading up to whenever I start my business, open for business. Yeah. The challenge, obviously they need to have something to pay for, to come in and look forward to. The value that you're giving in the giveaways, that's huge. Yeah, so I'm not terribly focused on a grand opening.
Well, we were let me see, we were going to do a grand opening after our first location. We were like, okay, we did a soft opening, got a lot of members, did great. Okay, let's do a grand opening now. And then it was just kind of like, why? Let's run another challenge, try to get more people in, and that was our thoughts on it. We just never ended up doing one, and it didn't really matter. I mean, the word got out there. Maybe in a small town, maybe in a smaller area, I think there might be a lot of value to it. I don't know, but for us, we just haven't. It hasn't worked.
Yes.
Can we go back to your Cooper City example and maybe talk about what you witnessed when you went down there? And I know you mentioned you actually volunteered to help her, and just sort of what happened in the end.
I said they had it had taken them almost a year to open. They had all kinds of contractor woes and all kinds of problems. And and that was one huge problem. And the heartbreaker here is they had a lot of time to prep. Don't look at your adversity as a weakness. It's your adversity is an advantage there. You can make it your advantage. So take advantage of whatever adversity you have. And I think in that situation, she should have been building up for the biggest freaking grand opening ever. And we've had a lot of problems too. And I feel like we've been able to take advantage. I still feel like I could have spent more money. I really do. And I talked to her and I said, listen, I repeated to her the same stuff I told you guys. I said, we need to put people in this gym. We need to do it now. And she told me, she goes, well, we've got lots of members referring each other. People love it here. And I'm like, okay, but I said, you need a lot now. I said, you don't need +5 members each month. You need 100 people right now. I said, I can do it for you. I will help you. I offer to build landing page. I not build them, but basically get her an account, ClickFunnels, give her a landing page, show her the ad copy, tell her how to do it. I said, you're going to need to get at least $3,000. Oh, we're tapped. And I said, let me know and contact me and we'll do it. And I'll help you, put at least 100 people in there. And she said she closed. And you know, and it sucks when, you know, she was a super cool lady and it was her dream and it was her passion, but part of the reason she couldn't even figure out, we used Zen Planner at the time, and my Jody went and checked out her stuff, and it was just kind of, she was covering so many training sessions. She had her kid covering training sessions. She couldn't, I understand why she didn't call me, but she was so stressed out just trying to serve the 20 or 30 people she had that my offer probably was daunting for her. And I understand why, but it still it was rough because it was just unnecessary, you know?
So I think
let me see if I can.
yeah, I think the theme in your Cooper City example is that, you know, owners who are so embedded with the various aspects of their business, you know, the being on the floor and training every session and doing everything themselves could potentially be like suicide in terms of growing your business. And
especially if you're doing it yourself.
Yeah.
I think us husband-wife teams have an advantage, you know, if you got two people on it, you know, but especially if you're doing it yourself, that you need to really realize how difficult it is to grow and be in there all day long training. So I see Jody is on. I didn't know she was on. Jody, do you have any points to bring up on this? If you do, hop in. She wants to talk about it. I'll text. She's probably working away on some other project.
Hey, Thad.